Hello, my dear viewers. My name is Nakia, and today I'm presenting a question. I'm discussing a question. It's a very common question in the modern AI era. It is, can computers think? So I'm going to give my perspective of this very sensitive topic, which is, can computers think? As I continue, I'm going to first define the term computers. So a computer is a programmable device that inputs data, processes the data, stores the data, and produces output, which is the information. Produces the output in form of information. So as we move forward, thinking in computers. So can computers think raises an important debate in technology and philosophy. Computers can process data, solve problems, and even imitate human behavior. But thinking usually means understanding and consciousness. This makes us think whether machines truly think or just follow programmed instructions. So this is a brief intro on this discussion on the topic of can computers think. So as we continue, so I'm tasked to discuss the topic of can computers think in relation to my problem domain, which is AI-powered mosquito trap. So this mosquito trap will work in a way whereby it uses sensors and sound analysis to detect mosquitoes, distinguish them from other insects, and then activates a trap. So the AI recognizes patterns like wing beat frequency, the movement of the mosquito, its size, and makes a decision to trigger the trap. So the trap uses a laser light that kills the mosquito once detected. Moving forward, according to debates, arguments, and theories, so debates and arguments like the tuning test and the Chinese room argument, among others. I came up with some points as regards this topic in relation to my problem domain, which is an AI-powered mosquito trap. So computers cannot think because they do not possess real understanding. AI systems, for example, this AI-powered mosquito trap would just stimulate human intelligence. This is further explained using the Chinese room argument, where John Shelf further explained that computers do not understand the semantics while doing their tasks or carrying out programmed routines. They just implement the syntax. They use the syntax. They do this through training data, and they apply the syntax, which is the symbols, the words, without actually knowing the true meaning. So in this case, whereby I'm having a mosquito trap, the computer won't understand what a mosquito is. It will just implement, it will just carry out the programmed instructions. So moving forward, computers do not have true intuition. Well, intuition, it's in human beings. It's the gut, the feeling one gets in case there is some situation whereby you get that feeling. So the AI-powered mosquito trap would process input and generate output without self-awareness of feelings. So since these are computers, they can't have the feelings, the emotions we human beings have. So this will be a limitation. This will show that computers do not have the ability to think. Current computers won't have the ability to think because thinking involves quite a lot. So moving forward, computers lack the ability to learn through acquiring skills or knowledge. This would be through understanding, reasoning, adaptation, learning from past situations, and then using the past experiences to solve problems in the current situation. So this is a limitation of computers which limits them from thinking because they can't learn, they can't acquire knowledge and skills, just as human beings do acquire that. The ability of computers to think depends on how you define thinking. So, thought as sophisticated information processing, if you are to define thought as sophisticated information processing, then in this case, for example, my AI-powered mosquito trap does think because you've defined or have defined thought in this case as sophisticated information processing, which involves processing input. For example, in the case of the mosquito trap, the input would be the signals, acoustic signals, the sensor data, and then applies rules which is the machine learning, rules applied through machine learning classifications, which differentiates a mosquito from other insects. So moving forward, it then produces output, that is, which activates the trap when a mosquito is detected. So in this case, if we are to define thought as sophisticated information processing that involves input, processing, and then output, then in this case, our trap would think, or computers would be able to think. On the contrary, thinking as conscious understanding. If we are to define thinking as a conscious understanding, from this perspective, the trap does not really think. The AI used in the trap does not understand mosquitoes, what a mosquito is. It just executes programmed rules and learned patterns. So it won't have the other deep understanding of the subject in question, which is mosquitoes. It won't understand the mosquitoes, won't understand the dangers or anything. It will just apply the rules without deep thinking or adaptation. As I move forward, I would like to introduce another question, which is, could we ever have a computer that is able to think? Could we ever have a computer that is able to think? In my own perspective, I think this is very possible because there might have been something not yet done which still hinders development of such computers that could think. So possibly to have a computer that can think, it is very possible because there has been a big revolution from first generation computers to the current fifth generation computers. Possibly as we move forward, there could be possibility of having computers that can think. If programmers keep on building smarter AIs, scaling up would probably lead to conscious understanding rather than powerful pattern recognition. So, since there has been many advancements in computers, probably or possibly we could ever have a computer that can think. So as I conclude, I would like to wrap up. At a smaller extent, computers do think depending on how you define the term thinking. As I've mentioned earlier, we could define thinking as sophisticated information processing. In this case, then computers would really think. If we are to define thinking as sophisticated information processing at a smaller extent, they would think if we were to take that as our definition of thinking. Generally, computers do not think because they lack consciousness and intuition, which is very key in thinking. Thank you, my dear viewers. Thank you for following in.